Let's go, man. Pop in, pop in. Entrepreneurs, we might call this like the entrepreneur episodes or something. I don't know. We're gonna have to come up with a name for these, but I think I just keep talking to entrepreneurs. So we're gonna have to give this a name. But for one thing we know is that, man, if you're on this call, you're a heavy hitter. If you watching this live, drop heavy in the chat. If you watching the replay, drop hitters in the chat. Um, man, I just want to come to y'all today. It's a good day. Every day is a good day. Man, got to give it back to God. We blessed at the end of the day. We got another chance to, live, to breathe, to just have another chance, man, have another shot, at whatever it is that you want to do, whatever your goals are, another chance to just, see your loved ones. We just got to stay blessed, man. We got to stay appreciative and grateful for everything that we have, that we got these phones to be here on social media at the end of the day. So you already know, man, my name is Aziz Shabazz. I am an entrepreneur. Everything that I do, I basically work from home. I've been able to create a business, generate income, to create passive and residual income, to be able to not have a 9 to 5 job. I'm not putting no disclaimers out there like I'm a millionaire or nothing like that. I'm just gonna keep it real. As we build into that, yeah. But I have been able to sustain and not have a 9 to 5 job for the last 8.5 years. So I think that's a testament to the work, to putting in the work, baby, to going hard, to staying in the trenches. You can find me, man. Y'all want to know my address? 123 in the trenches lane. I'm always going to be in the trenches, man. I'm always locked in, man. I love entrepreneurship. I love being able to work for yourself, build something for your legacy, do it for your, build something for your last name, not just your first. So I love that, man. Drop heavy in the chat if you're watching this live. Drop hitters in the chat if you're watching the replay. So I just wanted to come on real quick and just say to all my heavy hitters, hey, as entrepreneurs, and you gotta put in the work. You gotta put in the work. It ain't no way around it. We can't have the mindset of, all right, I know what I want life to look like. I know what I want my business to look like. I can imagine myself 5 years from now, 10 years from now. We can't just have the vision board. We can't just map it all out. We can't just pray on it. We can't just have faith on it, right? You actually got to go get it. We have to go get it. We have to put the work in, man. By the grace of God, today I was able to close 2 business loans. I just got paid today. I closed 2 business deals. But where did that come from? That's business funding. Like, we also do a few other things, commercial real estate deals and fix and flips, right? But today it was 2 business funding loans. At the end of the day, how did that happen? Simply from putting in the work, y'all. Talking with people, letting them know that, we here to serve, that I'm here to serve, that I have solutions for their problems, and I have services that I can help them with. It wasn't because I got some type of amazing skill set for sales. Is that I mean, is once you in the business and you in your respective career, your respective field, of course you're gonna start getting better and better at articulating the information and breaking things down and make things simple for people. That's one thing I want to say too, man. If you in the sales space and you using words and terminology that nobody knows just because you want to sound smart, man, you need to stop it. Somebody put stop it, put an X in the chat or something, man. Like, stop it. Don't try to use big words that just make you sound good, but that client is confused. They don't even know what you're talking about, right? They like, man, I don't know what, I'm confused. That person is probably a genius. They smart as heck, but I'm not. So I don't know what they're talking about. Now I'd rather just not use the service they have. Just break things down and make it simple and easy for people. Right? Don't try to make it so confusing that they won't ask questions. I think that's what some people do. They try to make it so confusing and so complex that a person don't know what questions to ask. And I think people do that because they're fearful of the person asking the question. Because if I make it simple enough for them to understand and they start asking me questions, now they're gonna test my knowledge. And I think sometimes people don't want their knowledge to be tested. That's why sometimes you'll hear I've seen people in sales where I've been a client, and then when I ask questions, it's like they get mad because I asked the question. Like, why are you getting upset? Why are you getting defensive and mad because I asked a question? And I think that's because typically they don't know how to answer the question. So they go into defensive mode and it gets like real aggressive and uncomfortable because they feel like they're being tested and they don't like that. They just want the sale. Right. So be prepared. Be prepared. If whatever service, you don't got to be an expert in everything maybe that your company does. I don't care what field you're in. If you're in health and wellness, if you are in what's that other one called? The travel one, Travel Plan Net, right? If you're in ACN, if you're at Keller Williams, if you're at EXP, if you're at Real, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever field you're in, learn your products, learn your services, the ones that you're going to offer, right? Like you don't have to learn everything, but if you're going to offer that service, like master that, lock in with that. So when somebody start asking you questions about it, you can answer the questions versus like, oh, I'm going to try to sell somebody everything that I have to offer. And then you end up not selling nobody nothing. Right. So master what it is that you're going to be, promoting or marketing to someone. But at the end of the day, you got to put the work in. You got to show up for yourself every day. Some people get into entrepreneurship because they don't want to work a job. So when they get into entrepreneurship, then they're like, well, I don't want this to be like a job. Well, no, it is going to be a job. Entrepreneurship, let's think about it like this. When you're employed, you're an employee, right? And you're working for someone else to make some money. So you can make some money. When you're self-employed, you're still an employee. You're just an employee for who? For yourself. But you're still an employee. So when you first start as an entrepreneur and you're building something, it should feel like a job because it is a job. It's just a job that you're working for yourself. So we hear the word entrepreneur, but I don't think we correlate that to being self-employed. Until you build your business where your business can start to operate with or without you, then you're self-employed. When you build your business to the point where it can sustain, it can maintain itself, and it can grow and thrive without you being a part of it, then that's when you have a business. But until that point, you are self-employed. So I don't want anybody to that's thinking about getting into entrepreneurship to miss the point that when you're an entrepreneur, you have to treat it like a job. You are self-employed. You are still an employee, but just for yourself. So whatever activities, prospecting activities, or whatever you have to do to work on your business to grow, you should treat that like a business. You should clock in and you should clock out. If you take a lunch, you should take a lunch. But you should clock in and you should clock out just like you would do a job. You should know what you're going to be doing from 9 to 5. And to be honest with you, you're probably going to work more hours than if you really, like you said, I want to be full-time. I want to be full-time. I need this to take me out of my 9 to 5 job, or I've quit my 9 to 5 job and now this is my new full-time. I took a leap of faith, especially if you take a leap of faith. Man, you got to go hard. When I got out of my 9 to 5, When I made the decision to quit my 9 to 5 job, I went hard because I said when I leave corporate, I'm never going back. I had made a decision, which is another thing that we have to do. I made a decision that when I left that 9 to 5 job, I was not going back. They was gonna have to drag me by my feet. I was gonna leave nail prints in the wall because I was gonna be holding on like it wasn't no way that I was going back. To make sure that I wasn't going back, man, I put in overtime. I worked more time as an entrepreneur beginning my journey, fresh out of quitting my job. I worked more hours then than I did when I was in my 9 to 5. Because I wanted to make sure it ain't no way in heck I'm going back to that job or any other job. But you want to still keep that same intensity because even when you start doing well in your business, you don't want to rest on that. You don't want to say, okay, I think I'm cool now. I think, the hard part is over and I can take my foot off the gas. No, you'll know when you can take your foot off the gas, but the problem is a lot of people do it way too soon. They take their foot off the gas way too early. They ain't nowhere near clear. It ain't nowhere near coast is clear. But they take their foot off the gas because they like, this the moment I've been waiting for. Well, I don't got to work as hard. But you got companies out here that's been around for 100 years. Are you trying to have a company that's around? Are you trying to have a business that's around for 100 years? Are you trying to have a business that's around for, 1 year, 365 days, 2 years, right? And if anybody has quit their job and you living off of, savings accounts or whatever you put to the side, just because you got money in the account and you can live off of that for a while, don't think that that money is going to sustain you that, oh, I got time. I got enough that'll last me so long that I got time. I don't have to go so I can build it casually. Man, that time will go like that. Pow, 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 pow. Before you know it, you're like, hold on, what happened? I got to go back to work. I got to go get a job. Wait, hold on. Where did that time go? No, you got to be in the trenches like you broke. You got to be in the trenches like your back is against the wall, especially if you don't left your 9 to 5, right? That's how I was. I don't care if I got this to fall back on. I got that to fall back on. I got that to fall back on. That's cool. Yeah, you could, I hear people say, don't have a plan B. Well, you should have a plan B, but people say don't have a plan B because usually people don't go that hard in a plan A because they relying on a plan B. You can have a plan B, but you gotta act like you don't have one. I don't got nothing to fall back on. It's either all or nothing, right? So just understand when you go move into this entrepreneurship space, it's not like I did one thing, so I'm going to get this result for this one thing. It's not like a 1-for-1. You might have to do 10 or 20 or 30 things or activities to get this one end result because it's like a buildup. It's like a residual compounding effect. That the work you put in your first 30, 60, 90 days, you might not see the results of it for that 3 months or 6 months because it's compounding. Now that's why you got to have consistency. That's why you got to have discipline. That's why you got to keep going because once that result comes, maybe you get a sale or you get closed a big deal or something like that. You got to keep going as if you ain't closed nothing. You got to keep going as if nothing, like you ain't even made no money because if you don't keep going, it's going to cut off at some point. See, this is where people can mess up too because they did all this work in the past and now it starts rolling in and now they think they good because the work in the past is starting to roll in. So now they can let their foot off the gas. Okay, it's good. I'm going. I ain't even did nothing this week and I still closed some deals. I ain't even really did nothing this month and I still closed some deals. Yeah, keep on going and it's going to catch up with you. It's going to catch up with you, and then it can start slowing down. Until your business really get that momentum where it's just like straight word of mouth business. You got some type of lead generation that's working without you, which probably you're going to have some capital and some money to put towards that as well. If you have the money to put towards that, just make sure that the ROI, that the return on investment is good. What's the point if you got the money to put up, the leads coming in, but you're not making the money back? That don't work neither, right? Unless you got a big budget, like some of these corporations where they know, like, hey, we building a brand for the long run and we got this money to throw at it. We ain't really worried about getting it back now. We can get it back 5 years from now. We okay. That's kind of a different story, right? So, man, I just wanted to pop on real quick. I'm going to jump off. I got another call coming up because I'm in the trenches, right? I see it right now. I say either I'm going to jump on this. This is what I told myself right now. I say either I'm going to jump on this live. I told the wife, I said, either I'm going to jump on live right now or I'm going to do some prospecting. She said, you do your live yet? I said, nope, I ain't do live. She said, do the live. All right, well, bad. I'm going to do the live then, right? But I'm going to do something in this time that I have to make sure that I stay productive, right? It's usually like, man, the time I take a lunch or something like that, but I had a little snack earlier, so I wasn't really hungry. So I could be like, oh, I got free extra time. Nah. You don't want to rest on that like, oh, I got free extra time. You get some free extra time, you put in some overtime, you put in some extra credit. If you trying to get your business to the level that you want it, you got to show up. You got to put the work in, right? If you're watching this live, drop heavy in the chat. If you're watching the replay, drop hitters in the chat, man. If you're watching this call, man, you a heavy hitter at the end of the day. With that being said, man, y'all, let's run. Let's get it. Let's stay in the trenches. Let's put the work in and see y'all at the TOP. Let's go.